Hey, everybody, welcome to Perpetual Motion. I'm your host, Dr. Mo Anderson, and I am excited to be back after a brief hiatus I took for my self-care. I was getting a little burnout with multiple projects, so I decided, you know what? Let's take a break. Let's take a break. It's not a worldwide emergency. Take a break, and I'm back refreshed and excited and ready to go. We're going to start off this season with a solo episode because I just need to share that it's time to man up and fight back, ladies. It's time to fight back. Time to stop being passive, stop being an observer, stop being a cheerleader, off the sidelines, onto the field. The world needs us right now. It's time to man up. Talk show host and comedian Steve Harvey told us all to act like a lady and think like a man in his best-selling book on the subject of how men really feel about relationships and commitment. It solves some perplexing mysteries from my past, to be honest, because I really don't understand how men think. But what I'll add to that conversation and that great advice is that sometimes as ladies, we need to be a little less Southern Belle and a little more give 'em hell. Today's metrosexual men are quick to let us know they're in touch with their sensitive side, with their X chromosomes, but they can also be an alpha male. When was the last time you heard a female brag about tapping into her natural testosterone? Yes, I said testosterone. If you're not a boomer like me, you may not be aware that women have and need a little bit of testosterone. Google it. I don't care. Fact check, baby. Listen, when we first entered the workforce alongside men, we masked our differences, trying to fit into the male-dominated workplace. We tried hard to avoid horrid, stereotypical ladies that they give to women who actually act like, well, women. Those in the corporate world wore dark navy and black suits, especially in the tech industry with clunky 2-inch heels. But now that we're an accepted part of the workforce, more or less, the pendulum has swung the other way and we strive to express our true selves, right? Our femininity, our hair, even at work. And thank goodness we have female CEOs posing on the cover of Time and Vogue magazine. Some react in horror to this, but I applaud a boss woman's ability to pull off chic geek while reversing the fortunes of a global company. We've seen it done. We know it can be done, but it's still rare. I'm saying, yeah, act like a lady when it comes to how you permit others to treat you. Don't just think like a man, act like a man too. There are some traits associated with strong men that I recommend emulating during tough times. Do not hide and cower, waiting for a dark night to come on his white horse and defend you. Do not let your hair down, hoping someone will climb your hair extensions to rescue you. They probably can't support a man's weight anyway. And do not lie in your bed crying, hoping that things will get better by a miracle. Man up, ladies, man up and switch from defensive to offensive against whomever or whatever poses a legitimate threat to your welfare, to your livelihood, to your family, to your mental health. For example, if you're a victim of sexual harassment, understand that is a form of sexual discrimination per the Civil Rights Act of 1964. In the past, we were told to just shrug it off because we were conditioned to believe boys will be boys. Yes, boys will, but men should not be boys. Men should treat their female colleagues in a professional manner at all times, just as they would want someone to treat them, their mothers, their sisters, or their wives. You have a lot of options for seeking a resolution, including trying direct communication or third-party mediation. You can report the behavior to the supervisor, get human resources involved. That works in some cases with some people. But research and reality TV have demonstrated some folks simply cannot be reasoned with, no matter how skillfully you try to communicate. Then you need to reassess that strategic plan for that relationship and counter the attack. Your enemy should fear what you might do. Discuss the situation and your feelings with unbiased witnesses. Perhaps you're off base. I've done that before, just assume something was about me when really that's just that person's personality. That's how they treat everyone, men and women. But if there is no doubt and you have it confirmed by objective observers, man up and fight back. Now, that may mean you need to leave a new job or a new neighborhood for you, not them. That is not considered retreating in defeat unless you leave without taking action. A legitimate complaint to the planning and zoning department or an honest exit interview is a form of paying it forward. How will things ever change if we just keep leaving and no one speaks up? No one points out the inequities, the discrimination, the nepotism, the harassment. How will it change unless we say something? Do you want to go to your next job and work for a manager who has been groping his direct reports for 10 years with impunity? Don't leave that bad situation unchanged for the next person or the glass ceiling. This glass ceiling will become a glass floor we all fall through. I'm going to tell you about my friend Angel, right? Angel, not Angel Reese on the WNBA. I wish she was my friend, but we don't know each other yet. Angel recently had the horrible experience of being accused of theft of time. Theft of time. She was accused of sneaking off to the movies in the middle of the day by a colleague. She was summarily fired and threatened with criminal prosecution. They didn't even ask for her side of the story. And that happens, as you know. Angel fell apart. Her best friend propped her up and insisted she fight back against these false allegations. She could have proven that she was actually meeting with a client during her absence if anyone had bothered to let her explain. She appealed to human resources and got her job back in this case, along with a nice apology from the company. The person who made the false report was notorious for her 2-hour lunches and early departures. Isn't that the case so often? People accuse you of things they're actually doing. Oh, that ticks me off. When Angel was rehired, her first order of business should have been to bring her adversary's attendance record to the attention of their supervisor. But no, Angel turned the other cheek to be a bigger person. Child, never mind that her nemesis never offered an apology and continued to malign her reputation with false gossip. Some people are just wired like that. They're just born that way. And to this day, Angel, my girl, cries on her way to work and cries on her way home because she, as an adult manager, is being bullied. Luckily, she only has 3 more years of crime before she can retire. No one should be as miserable as Angel, and no one should live like this. To get rid of a weed, ladies, kill it at the root. You don't prune it. You don't put a rock on top of it. You kill it at the root. I'll take some heat for saying this, but listen, roast me if it means one of you will not have to go through the sad ordeal, the hell that Angel and I and millions of other women have endured in the past because we didn't fight back when necessary. I'm not talking about your fist and swinging and working your neck and acting like a housewife of wherever they are. I'm saying a strategic plan to restore your mental health and your reputation. This last resort admonition is for vicious, vindictive people with a pattern of destructive behavior. For them and only for them, start by documenting everything. Keep your emails, keep your notes, summarize. If they want to jump on a phone call and call you, you know how they do that little sneaky way so it won't be on Teams, it won't be recorded. Child, right away, you sit down, you document to the best of your memory everything that was said during that conversation, and then you email them that document and say, is this an accurate representation of the discussion we just had when you called me at 1:03 p.m.? Woo, baby. Do that a few times. It works. Prepare your case until you have so much dirt on them, the Pope would fire him or her. This process, just going through it and documenting, will also help you determine if you're wrong. You can be wrong. Sometimes you just have a personality conflict. If your file is woefully thin and circumstantial, then you may be reading the situation incorrectly. You don't want to fire from your man up, from your imaginary weapon. You don't want to fire too quickly or ill-advisedly. Make sure you have the right target and the right weapon. You don't have to lie in wait. You don't have to lie. Just lie in wait. Never turn the other cheek when your welfare is threatened. Don't lie. Lie in wait like a cougar about to pounce. And don't yield your territory easily without a fight. When you come up with a good idea at work, baby, and another team member takes credit for it, oh, hell no. He or she is encroaching on your intellectual property. If your teenage son or daughter speaks to you with folded arms and open contempt, they are crapping on your turf at your house, probably talking on your cell phone or scrolling while they do it. Oh no. Boundaries. Stop it. And if a woman is bold enough to call your man on his cell at 11, 12, 1 in the morning, and he has the nerve to answer and tip out of the room and start whispering, oh, it's time to man up. The common thread in these circumstances is that they require a response that at the very least will be uncomfortable. Knowing that things might get ugly, you still have to man up, put on your protective emotional gear, and confront the interloper. Never lose control of your mind or your body. Be composed. Keep your voice at an even tone. You don't have to scream. In fact, people stop hearing you when you start screaming and yelling. You don't have to hit anybody. You don't have to throw anything to make a point. Losing control of your emotions, screaming, yelling, is a barrier to power, a barrier to communication. But if you do not firmly and quickly address the trespass, it will happen again and again and again, and you will suffer until you let it be known you have boundaries that are not to be crossed without consequences. Can't we all just get along? My older listeners recognize that phrase from Rodney King. He uttered the words, but women made the practice an art long before Rodney asked his infamous question. Most of us think, and we hope and we pray that everyone can sit down and calmly, mind-numbingly talk it out. Any conflict can be resolved over a cup of tea. No, it can't. Our instinct is to fix a problem where we find it, even if it's not our problem. That's why I'm glad some folks are taking the year off of fixing stuff, other people's problems. The only time a woman is allowed to say, that's not my problem, is when she's working a customer service job for which she is paid to solve problems. Other than that, we collect problems like black pumps and silver hoop earrings. Unlike my recommended reaction regarding a personal or professional threat, when it comes to solving everyone else's issues, answering question after question, knowing everybody's job responsibility, child, it's time to master the art of letting it be. Why would we pass on solving a problem if it's within our power to help? There are plenty of good reasons, but I'll focus on the main two. First, it conserves energy. Time spent concentrating on other people's inabilities and responsibilities, especially at work, is time taken away from your own deliverables. And if you are the typical working woman at home or remote, at home or the office, I should say, you could probably use more time to attend to your own affairs. At work, you have a job description, right? Other duties as assigned does not mean you have to be everybody's auntie, grandma, mother who has a ready answer for every dilemma. Nor should you want to be. Do the work you are paid to do. Excel at your own job. Psychologists are paid to help people with their problems. If you're not a psychologist, stop. Make the appropriate referral and get back to handling your business. Which brings us to the second reason for letting it be. You are not doing a good deed by solving another person's problems. All you do is make the person overly dependent on you or your replacement. They need to stand up, grow up. As a rule, this is so hard with family. We don't like it when our loved ones have a difficult times with life's lessons. But as the saying goes, life is a series of lessons, and we repeat the same lesson until we master it. No one can learn to hold a job, delay gratification, or generally navigate through life if you keep hovering over him or her like a SWAT team in a helicopter. You can be a safety net, but sometimes you've got to let others walk the tightrope alone. Tap into that testosterone, girl, and tamp down the urge to rescue others who will be stronger, more independent, and more resourceful once they learn to help themselves. So go ahead, be yourself, walk like a girl, throw like a girl, eat like a girl. Nothing wrong with that. From tomboy to prom queen, be the woman you are by nature. But when it comes to personal security threats, when it comes to someone doing things that may cause you to lose your job or your business, act like a man. Your great idea or world's best home based business mean nothing if you are not prepared to defend it. Do not back down when you're right. Don't be humble. Don't waver. Don't quit. I hope you find that life lesson learned, that great advice. I think it's great advice. It's the greatest advice ever. I hope you find it helpful. And if you do, go ahead, like and subscribe and join me in the upcoming episodes. This season, we're going to be interviewing some really dynamic experts in relationships, careers, and wellness from all over the world. Be well and be safe. Thank you.